Hello traders! In this video I will show examples of entries on a pullback and what can be a difference between technical and news-driven moves. A good technical move with strong momentum can provide us a chance for easier trade. That would be break, pullback, continuation type of trade. Our entry would be on a pullback after a break. Most often we will get such opportunities early in the session when a strong market makes a break of resistance level or zone, then makes a pullback to it, and broken resistance now act as support. We can use Fibonacci retracement in confluence with broken resistance. Or weak market making a breakdown and we act on a pullback toward broken support that now act as resistance. Note that these kind of moves are in minority since markets tend to spend more time ranging and consolidating. Be prepared and always take note of a trend and context heading into every day. That is the necessary thing in trading. In a bullish environment, dips are going to be bought, so selling on a pullback would not work so well as in bearish environment. Likewise, in bearish environment, rips are going to be sold, and hitting long on a pullback will likely be more risky. Similar concepts are from continuation type patterns and false breaks. They depend on environment. Now let's see some examples. Technical moves first. Note that all examples shown in this video are from German DAX, but they can be applied to other indices and instruments as well. This is the first example. Technical move on April the 17th and market strong from the open. Break, pullback and continuation. Market breaking the range, making a pullback to the top of the range and then continues higher. This would be an example from June the 6th, and in this chart we can observe two examples: technical upside move and a news related downside move. In both cases we could act on a pullback. First would be a strong market from the open and long on a pullback, and then later this was example of news driven move on the ECB statement and selling the pullbacks. This is August the 30th and again breakout, pullback, continuation, strong market from the open, and later buyers active on a pullback from halfback. September the 27th, again strong market, pullback to pre-market high, and again broken resistance acting as support. Now the opposite examples. November the 12th, 2018, weak market from the open, selling the first pullback, using the broken support zone and now act as resistance. March the 4th, again weak market from the open, selling the pullbacks. May the 20th, weak market from the open and again selling the pullbacks. Before we observe news-driven moves and pullbacks on them, there are two types of news-driven moves. First one would be data type. Scheduled news from economic calendar that provide info without doubt, which can produce directional moves, like moves on ECB or Fed events, NFP report, flash PMI releases. Second one would be a knee-jerk news-driven move, when media quoting unnamed sources, undefined or incomplete information that would be good only to make a knee-jerk reaction to the next good support or resistance zone. Always remember that saying, news-driven moves tends to retrace, since that is the biggest risk on entering trades on a pullback in direction of the initial move. I will use examples from these following dates, like on these charts, for the news-driven moves. First would be example on Mario Draghi's speech. Entries would be on shallow pullbacks and breakout entries would be later. And this news-driven move caused a trend up day. Complete opposite was on the July the 25th, but the reason was the same. Again, it was on Mario Draghi's speech. This time it was an ECB press conference. And we get an opportunity to sell this first shallow pullbacks and then these pullbacks later. Now we're heading to the October the 1st, and the US PMI news that came pretty bad. First we got opportunity to sell the market once we observed that the market was rejected below the pre-market low, cannot go inside the pre-market range, and then we got the breakdown on the US PMI, and later we got opportunities to sell these pullbacks here. So there would be entry on a pullback. And now we are heading to the knee-jerk news-driven moves. First one would be from the October the 17th, and this was the news on Brexit vote. But this news was good enough to move market for a full daily 8-year move into this resistance here. This was a trendline resistance, and a reason to not go long on a pullback would be the fact that market was exhausted into it. They already exhausted the full 8-year move, so wanting more than that would require a better news than a news on a Brexit vote. This would be October the 31st, and US-China trade deal related negative news where media was quoted unnamed sources. So this was also a incomplete information which moved market for a full daily 8-year move into the main support from the day and filled the old gap, and thus providing us a very good long opportunity and a reason to be very cautious on selling the pullback, because market already provided a full 8-year move and bounced from a very good support in the bullish environment. We can make some conclusions about entries on a pullback, but even before that, we can say that one of the good rules of the thumb would be to always concentrate on the first pullback, since first pullback carries the highest odds of success. So we got here a pullback on technical moves. Usually comes early, market breaking support or resistance level, makes a pullback to it, and that would be a high expectancy trade. Easy entry, not often to see, and risk would be false break, not a real break. Now we have a data kind of news-driven moves. Those moves would be after a good or bad data from a reliable source, and then we would have a strong market reaction. This is for a good expectancy, and risk is a bigger retrace that we think it could be. And finally we have knee-jerk news-related moves, and those moves comes after unconfirmed information and usually on something that is dragging for a long time, like Brexit or US-China trade deal. And going on a pullback after these kind of moves would be risky, since these type of news-driven moves often retrace completely. Thank you for watching this video. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @StrayDog, where I often comment about DAX and the US indices. And if you are interested in trading German DAX, I'm inviting you to check my website StrayDogTrading.com, where you can find a lot of information and examples. I wish you good trading and goodbye.